Hey everyone, it's been 3 months since my last video, and I'm now 9 months out from my surgery I had back in May of 2014. Current weight right now is 260 pounds, which means in overall, since when I first started losing weight to get the surgery and then after, I've lost a total of 140 pounds, and 100 of that has been from the surgery alone. I lost 40 pounds before I got to the surgery, and I thought it's been 3 months, might as well, say something again. Let everyone know what's happening and what's going on. Weight loss is going pretty well still. It's still very, very slow. I would always like to go faster because my goal that I want to get to is actually 220 pounds. So that's what I have set as my first goal. Anything past that is like extra for me. And it's just kind of a little extra bonus, but I just want to get down to 220 pounds, and I think I'd be, pretty content with there. That's what I'm shooting for, at least. It's going really slow still. I'm losing, I think, about close to around 5 pounds a month now. Whereas when I first started, I remember when I first started losing weight, I was dropping like 10 pounds a week. But, of course, your body slows down, things normalize out, and I'm doing around 5-6 pounds a month. So I take it while I can. Went to the doctors recently, and things are doing pretty well. So I used to have runaway lethal blood pressure just about. I remember a couple years ago, I was out and I was having a stress test done, and they took my sitting blood pressure. They always do that first, before, during, and then after. And just sitting there like I'm sitting now talking to you, my blood pressure was 220 over 120. The nurses were pretty concerned, and they actually got 2 cardiologists to come in and confirm, wondering if I was just going to have a stroke just sitting there. With my doctor's appointment the other day, I've learned that now my blood pressure is around 116 over 80 when I was there, and I have my own blood pressure cuff that I can use. And today I took it was 110 over 60. So for the first time I think ever in my life, I actually have good blood pressure. Before surgery, on my meds, it was like 150 to 140 over 100 over 110, which is still pretty bad. But since I've dropped all this weight, I finally have good blood pressure. I mean, I've had the high blood pressure since I was 8 years old. I got to take a look at my medical records from the military that I took out with me. And I was 8 years old. I had blood pressure of 160 over 100. And of course, military doctors didn't notice shit. So that's not really too surprising. I mean, they're some of the worst doctors I've ever seen on the planet. So many things go undiagnosed with them. It's ridiculous. But that's not here or there. It's not what I'm talking about here today. So blood pressure is finally normal. I'm going through. I have to have blood tests and blood work done to see how my kidneys and liver are doing, and it seems to be recovering pretty well. So the things that were killing me and almost did kill me before the surgery are now doing a lot better. I still have some signs of congestive heart failure. My feet do still swell up, though not nearly as bad as what it used to be. I mean, before, I have pictures, ironically, of my legs and my feet. They were just like massive, just super swollen up, very painful. But now it's just very minor. Usually sometimes will happen just either when I wake up from sleeping, or even if I'm exercising for a while there, I notice that my feet will start to swell up a little bit. So there's a little slight concern about that, but I'm still nowhere near about to die from a heart attack or heart failure at this point in time. But there are still some things to be concerned about, and they're looking into it, but I'm not really worried about it since I'm doing so much better overall. One of the things I have noticed, though, is that my hair right now is probably the longest I've had it in quite some time. I was actually going to cut it about a couple days ago, and then I realized I was going to make this video, but I wanted to show you guys something, is that with weight loss surgery, you can lose your hair. And you may be thinking, no duh, Ken, you're bald. And trust me, I've known that since I was 17 years old and I started losing my hair. But you can lose more of your hair. I'm guessing this would probably be a little bit more devastating for someone who has a normal head of hair, but for me, I'm just like, whatever. If you look over here onto the side, I'm not sure what's going to show up too well, but I have like this kind of patching right here where you can start to see through the scalp. And I should also have it, I think, on the other side here as well. It might be thinning or a little bit patchy. And that's just from the weight loss itself. It puts a strain on your body that ways you may not quite fully see, and that's just kind of one of the ways my body goes through it there as I start patching out here. The right side used to be even more pronounced. I remember a couple months ago, I mean, it almost went completely down to the skin like I had shaved it. So it's been growing back and kind of going out here and there. I just need to make sure I'm keeping up on all my vitamins and also keeping my protein intake high in order to make sure that we don't have any issue with that. Food is getting kind of boring for me. Something I never thought I'd really say because I always like to cook. I've gone around and always find ways to make things better tasting and a little more, spice it up and do something more creative with food. And that's what really got me in trouble to begin with pre-surgery. I mean, that's how I got the 400 pounds because, why use milk when you can use heavy cream or anything like that? I always go full decadent cooking. I just go to the complete opposite extreme of what you should be doing to eat healthy. So, and that's definitely changed since I've had the surgery. I still like to definitely spice up my food and play around with it and think of new things, but food's just getting really freaking boring for me because when I make something, I make such a small amount that still lasts me at least 2 to 3 days, sometimes even 4, depending on what I make. Today I made shrimp and scallops in a white wine sauce and reduced it down, and it's really good there. And I have a little extra pasta with it. Not a whole lot. It's mostly a whole bunch of shrimp and scallops because I need that protein. And I know that's going to last me for 3 days. And if I were to be serving it to normally, or if I had my old stomach back, that'd probably be about 2 meals. Or I'd be serving like maybe 2 to 3 people, and that's just 1 meal in all. But when you make something like this there on the budget that I'm at, you make food and then you're eating it non-stop. I mean, that's whatever I make, I am eating that one particular food until it's gone, and then I'll make something else. Because if not, I'll just find, because I found out when I first had my surgery, when I started experimenting cooking there, I was just throwing away a lot of food. Because I'd eat something there, I'd have so much of it left over, and I'd start to make something else, and then it just, before I knew it, a week had gone by, and it was time to get rid of the food. So I've learned just to make something and then just pretty much eat it all the way through. So food's getting boring for me. Still have a problem making too much. Even when I reduce things down, it's still way too much. Last week I made chili with half a pound of meat, 1 can of beans, 1 can of tomatoes. And these aren't like big giant cans here. These are like the small little like 14 ounce or whatever the other normal size are. There you go to a grocery store and you buy your canned tomatoes or canned beans or whatever. And that fed me for 4 days. And it was ridiculous. I mean, by the end of the 4th day, I'm just like, oh God, I don't want to eat chili anymore. So food is definitely a struggle. I'm getting bored with it. So because I was getting bored with it, I decided, what the hell? I have these different cravings still. I want to have sweets, even though sweets still don't really taste that great to me. But I said, you know what? Screw it. I'm just going to eat like crap. I'm going to get a whole bunch of junk food. I got like brownies. I had some potato chips. Basically, I went through and I thought, whatever the hell I wanted to have, like the old days there, I'd just buy it. And I made sure to buy like really small, but I didn't go like full whole hog on this thing, like, big giant bag of potato chips. I got like the small little, like maybe kind of like lunch size or whatever you call it. They're the individual small serving there. And I decided for 3 days or so I was just going to eat nothing but crap. And I did. And the result was I felt like crap. It wasn't like psychological, like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you're doing this. It's like I just felt terrible. My energy just dropped down through the floor. I felt really sluggish. My body was not happy with what I was doing. Whether that's a result of my newer, healthier lifestyle or the surgery or what, I don't know. But it's just like I just felt absolutely, really, really terrible. So as soon as I got back to eating my normal, healthier routine, my energy improved, things came back, and I started doing a lot better. So I've kind of learned that if I go on a binge, I'm definitely going to pay for it. But that was about a month ago, I want to say. I think I did that. And definitely not repeating that again. If I want to have a snack or something like that occasionally, sure, but that's few and far. It's not a very common thing with me that I like to do. So exercise is still a big thing for me. I'm still kind of addicted to exercise, I guess you would say, because it's definitely always on my mind whenever I get done with work. Because I get done with work around 11:30 at night. that's usually when I start to exercise. Because I found if I do it before I start work, early in the day, it just doesn't work out for me. I get too tired and fatigued, and the workday doesn't go well. I can't concentrate, so I've learned to do it after. But every single day, I'm thinking exercise, exercise, exercise. I'm lifting weights. I'm doing a lot better with that. Um, I'm also working more of my legs into it, and I was doing the treadmill for a while until about last month. I actually had a bone break in my left foot, and it wasn't like an accident or anything else there. Just due to my different health problems I have, occasionally I'll just have a bone break. I had my bone in my right foot break one time. I was back in New Hampshire. I think it was around 2007 that happened. Um, I also broke my back in my sleep. Famously, as I like to tell people, I was actually sleeping and I turned and then I broke my T12, and that was extremely painful. And it just happens sometimes. My bone density will just change, osteoporosis, the different things I have going on, and just snap. And that's exactly what happened. It could have also maybe been worn down through the repetition from constantly doing all the walking. So I had to take about close to a month off from walking, and for me, that was really, really, really hard for me to do. I remember I talked previously in one of my other videos about how my doctor diagnosed me with having fatigue, and he said, hey, don't exercise for a week, just rebound and get yourself better. And for me, that was hard. But for not walking for close to a month, that was just murder. Because I've been kind of training myself to get on the treadmill and just go. I can walk up to 2 miles before I have to stop. And it's not stopping because I'm winded or anything like that. I actually have to stop because my feet hurt too much. The arthritis I have in my feet and my ankles just get to be wearing out to too much where I have to stop from it's becoming uncomfortable and painful to walk. If that wasn't the case, I could probably do 5-6 miles no problem, maybe even longer, which is pretty amazing to me. I'd like to be able to do that. I think that'd be really cool, but my body just still can't take it from all the different things that are going on with it, and also the abuse from having to put up with me being 400 pounds. That really puts a stress on your joints. So that month of not walking was very difficult. My treadmill collected a lot of dust. Since then, though, I've gone out for a walk outside. I think it was last week or two. I actually went outside for a walk after work. And my neighborhood's not the best place to do that. It's a real crap hole. So you do run the risk of getting mugged depending on what's going on out there. But I went inside to take a walk. It was about 4-5 degrees outside, wind chill about close to 10 below. So I was the only one out there. So I just bundled up, protected my ears, face, scarf hat out, probably like some deranged stalker or killer walking around. But I actually enjoyed myself. I walked for a mile and my foot didn't hurt. So that's why I realized I had fully healed up and I could get back on the treadmill since I've been doing that. So treadmill and I are getting reacquainted quite well. I'm actually going to be walking out again tomorrow, and since then I've also been lifting weights, which is pretty cool because I've also noticed that I'm starting to get muscle definition underneath my skin. It's still, it's still a little flabby and saggy there, but when I was taking a shower, actually I reached for the shampoo bottle, and I was like looking at my arm. I was like, all of a sudden I was like, what the hell is this? I noticed like a crease in my shoulder, and I was like reaching out like that. I was like, oh, I have muscle definition here now. I can actually see where that is. And same thing for my arm and bicep now. It's like I can actually see different things going through. So for me, that's kind of cool because I don't think I've had that in 20 years. I want to say close to 20, 15 years. It's been a while since I've seen actual muscle definition on other parts of my body. So things are slowly taking shape. I'm learning new things and rediscovering new things, and things I've never had before are popping up. So it's all still pretty good. That's pretty much what's been going on with me. It's been the same old crap with work. Still not sure what's going on, if I'm going to be employed tomorrow or not. You never know, especially what's going on in my business. There was an acquisition and we still haven't heard anything about it other than they're trying to get it completed by the end of February. But past that, we haven't heard anything, and I've always learned to have a plan B. I also have a plan C in place just in case, so always plot your exits if you need it. Money, still trying to save up, but that's always been hard because I have a little problem with eBay because I like to spend money, and especially building my retro collection. So I've been building a lot of Genesis games, adding it in there complete in box because I like to do the whole thing if I'm going to be completing it. And yeah, so I'm trying to save up money a little bit better. just because there's things I still need to do with it. I still have, the money I'm spending is not like make or break money. It's not like I can't afford to get something fixed or pay a bill or anything like that, but it's just kind of like fun money I want to spend. But I definitely want to save up because I want to take a vacation this summer. Definitely go out and see some friends I haven't seen in quite some time. So, because now I have the ability to do that. Before it was like, I was actually going to be the best man at my friend Peter's wedding, and I couldn't make it. I was so near being dead at the time. I didn't have the energy to make the trip out there to New Hampshire, which is like about, I want to say probably close to 13 hour drive, depending on where you're going in the area. And I can do that now, no problem. But I mean, at the time, it was like anything more than like 10, 15 minutes, I was just bushed out. I could not do it. And I was about to literally die. So I had to, unfortunately, bow out like pretty close to the wedding. And that's something that I've always kind of been pissed at myself about. And it was one of my deciding factors to say, get this done. This has to change. I can't keep doing this. I can't live in my life like I'm going to die because I was going to. So hopefully make that up here this summer. I want to go out and see him, see how Peter's doing, family, his wife, and their pretty cute kid. Go out and see them, maybe take a trip out to Michigan. I also want to start saving up and possibly take another trip somewhere else, halfway across the world. And of course, if you know who I am, you know about me, you know where I'm talking about. So that's kind of my goals, and that's what's been going on these past 3 months. Just slowly losing weight, just still plugging away at work, and just taking it day by day, like always. So you may have also noticed I also got myself a new mullet. This is a bigger one. I actually took beads out from the old one and incorporated into it here because I just wanted to carry something over from the old one. It got to the point where I couldn't wear it anymore. I'd have it on my wrist. I've lost so much weight that it would not even stay on my hand anymore. It would, like, as soon as I dropped my arm like this, it would just fall and hit the floor immediately. So I decided it was time to get a new one. I'd had that mala for like, gosh, I want to say 12 years. So it was kind of a pain to let go, but got the new one, restrung this up here, added in some old elements to it, and it's my new companion. We'll see how many years this one lasts, but I'm going to get going, and I'm not sure I'll do my next video, but if I don't do it from there, I know I'll definitely do when I hit the 1 year mark. So in recap, it's been 9 months since my surgery. I've lost 100 pounds since the operation, and 140 pounds total. So good times. I'll talk to you guys later.